Good morning, everyone. Let's do some prayers. Om Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo, Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parbrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Om Bhur Bhavaswaha, Tat Savitrvarenyam, Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi, Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Asto ma sadgamya, tamso ma jyotirgamya, mrityurma amritam gamya. Om Sena Bhavatu, Sena Bhunaktu, Saviryam Karva Vahi, Tejasvinavaditamastu, Ma Vidvishavehi. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Let's open our Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. So this book looks small, but we all know that the wealth of information we get in this one, deep knowledge. So we are still on chapter 1. And in this section, which is called a Saptha section, verse number 21. Okay. So this mantra goes like this. Ath ataha vrat mimansaha prajapati karmani srijate tani sristhani anya anyena asaprant aham vadishyami ev iti vak dadhre aham drakshyami iti chakshuh aham श्रोष्यामि इति श्रोत्रम एवं अन्यानि कर्माणि यथा कर्म मृत्यु श्रमः उपयेमेह आपनोत तानि आयवः मृत्यु अवारुन्ध तस्मात् वाक् श्राम्यति एव चक्षु श्राम्यति श्रोत्रम श्राम्यति अथ अयम् य मध्यमा प्राणः इमम् एव न आपनोत तानि ज्ञातुम् दद्रे अयम वे नः श्रेष्ठाय संचरञ्च असंचरञ्च न व्यथते अथो नरिष्यति हन्त सर्वे अस्य एव रूपम् असाम ते सर्वे एव रूपम् अभवन् तस्मात् एते एतेन प्राणः इति आख्यान्ते य एवं वेद स यस्मिन् कुले भवति तत् कुलं तेन वाव आचक्षते य ऊह एवं विदा स्पर्धते अनुशुष्यति अनुशुष्ये अंततः म्रियते ह एव इति अध्येताम. So the English translation of this mantra is, now therefore a discussion about the vow. Prajapati created the organs. Okay, and another name for the Prajapati is Viraj. And we have seen this name before in the earlier mantras. These, after being created, competed with one another. So who is competing? These organs are competing. The organ of speech resolved, I will go on speaking. The eye said, I will see. The ear said, I will hear. So did the other organs according to their functions. Death seized them in the form of exhaustion. It overtook them, and having overtaken them, restrained them. Therefore, the vocal organ does get tired. So does the eye, and so does the ear. But death could not overtake only what is the vital force in the body. And vital force is what? The prana. The other organs resolve to know it. This verily is the foremost among us, that moving or not moving, neither suffers nor perishes. Well, let us all assume its form alone. They all assumed its form alone. Hence, they are called by its name of Pran. People certainly designate that family in which is born one who knows thus by the name of that person, and whoever competes with one who knows thus withers, and after withering certainly dies at the end. This is meditation with reference to the body. So this is verse number 21, and the translation of that mantra in English. What does it really mean for us? We have seen that in the last mantra, last week, that Pran neither suffers nor perishes. We already learned that. And in this mantra, mantra number 21, the glory and the greatness of the Pran is given through an illustration which is actually self-explanatory. Because we have seen these kind of explanations in other Upanishads also, in the form of stories. So let me summarize it in few lines. Prajapati created the organs of action. And who is Prajapati? That's another name for Brahma, the creator or the son of Brahma. Prajapati. They quarreled with each other, all these organs. Each one of them wanted to establish his own superiority over the others. The eyes, they wanted to boast of their superiority. I said that we do the most important function of seeing, which no other organ could do, and which underlies all gross perceptions. Anything gross in outside, we can see only through the eyes. Those say that we are the most superior. Then the ear boasted of its power of audition. That only I can hear. You cannot hear those sounds. And rest of the organs also boasted of their respective functions. And when death over here is in the form of a tiresomeness. Okay, eyes after seeing so much, don't they get tired? We close our eyes. Ears also can hear only so much. We just like the silence. So this is what the death really means over here. In the form of tiresomeness, seized them, and they could function no more. It was only Pran whom death could not arrest. Why? Because Pran has no individuality and separateness like the other organs, and it functions through all the organs in all beings. That's what the Pran is. So the senses realize that it was Pran alone that is their support, but for whom all of them would die out. This is the story we saw in the other Upanishads. That's how, because when eyes said, I am superior, they decided, okay, we will leave the body for some time. Eyes left, the body was still functioning. Then eyes came back, the power to see came back. Then the power to hear left, still body was functioning. So one at a time, all of these organs, the power of the organs, they left. But body was functioning fine. But when the Pran left, It's about to leave, then all the organs, they said, please don't. We recognize that without you, we cannot function. So over here also, they all realized that it was Pran alone that is their support. Without Pran, they will all die out. So that's how they started to function in unison with the Pran. And they adopted the nature of that Pran in them. And they functioned under the mastership of the Pran. They are called Prans because Pran alone is responsible for their respective functions. Okay, so this is what this mantra is telling us. So that's why when we meditate also, it becomes very easy to focus our mind on the Pran Shakti and have a good control over our mind. Pran. That's why the yogic exercises without pranayam, they are not complete yogic exercises. So Pran, the superiority of the pranas. So we can meditate on that. Now the next verse, verse number 22. Ath adhidevatam aham jvalishyami ev iti dadhre aham tapasyami iti aditya aham आस्यामि इति चंद्रमः एवं अन्य देवता यथा देवतम एषां प्राणनाम यथा स मध्यमः प्राणः एवं एतसां देवतानां वायु अन्य देवताः मलोचन्ति न वायु यत् वायु स एषः देवतः अनस्मितः. Now the next meditation with reference to the deities, devatas. Fire resolved, I will go on burning. The sun, I will heat. The moon, I will shine. So did the other deities resolved according to their divine functions. As the vital force in the body is among these organs, so is Vayu among these deities. For other deities droop, but Vayu does not. It is Vayu which is a deity that never sets. So we saw in the previous mantra, mantra number 21, the glory of Pran was explained in relation to its activities in the individual body. So it's like a microcosm, the individual body, the physical sphere. This mantra, mantra number 22, speaks about its activities in the macrocosmic way, or you can call it a cosmic sphere. So there's a physical sphere, which we are all familiar with, our own individual bodies. Then there is a cosmic sphere. So it can be summarized this way, this mantra. Prajapati created the gods. These gods, the devatas, the divine entities, the controllers of these elemental forces, they are the devatas. And they also argued with each other. Who is superior? See, just like in the individual body, all these organs or the power behind the organs, they all quarreled. The same way, these devatas also, they argued with each other. Each wanted to establish his superiority over the other gods. Fire boasted that he alone could burn everything. The sun said that he alone could emit heat and light to the world. The moon said that she alone could shine at night. In this way, each of the gods boasted of their respective abilities with the other gods, which they do not possess. But when they sank down by the blow of death, could not function anymore, it was only Vayu, cosmic Pran, that could remain unaffected. So just like in the individual body, only the Pran did not get tired. The same way in this macrocosm also, only the Vayu. It never ceases to function. So as the Pran continued to function, despite the death of the organs in the individual body, so the Vayu in the universal counterpart continued functioning despite the cessation of the activities of fire, sun, and other gods. Because the other gods do decline, but Vayu does not. It is the cosmic Pran or the Hiranyagarbha. When we studied Kena Upanishad, and this very interesting story about the microcosm was there too. It was a story of the Yaksha and the celestials, Indra, Agni, Vayu. These stories reveal the great truth that none in the relative world, the world of the space, time, and causation, they could be the lord of their own sphere, but they cannot approach the unconditioned absolute. How can the personal see the impersonal? The related can never experience the unrelated. The finite can never reach the infinite. So the universal represented by the celestials is only the counterpart of the individual. Cannot have the access to the absolute. They both vanish. So if Indra, actually Indra is the king of all the other devatas. So even if Indra and other gods, they had shed their personality, both the individual and the universal, even then the Yaksha remained. So Indra and other gods remained, but they could not know the absolute. The whole universe functions under the command of the Supreme, the Absolute, because Absolute, the Brahman, has the ultimate say. It is all a mystery to a non-discriminating mind. That's why we are given the instructions by the Gurus that increase your Vivek. With the help of the Vivek, with the help of the meditations, we can understand this. Otherwise, we can't. Otherwise, it remains only a mystery. If we are just depending upon our intellect only, because intellect, no matter how sharp it is still made out of Prakriti. There are limitations. We have to transcend that lower form of intellect also. Sure, we need to use it to reach to a certain point, but beyond that, intellect cannot help us. It's almost like a ladder. Ladder can take us up to a certain point. To go higher, we need something which is better, bigger, stronger. So by meditation on the cosmic Pran, which is the same as the cosmic speech, the cosmic mind, cosmic intellect, the individual gets merged in it. And that's how we become one with the whole universe. So we have to meditate on these lower forms, but remembering that these lower forms, whether it's a devatas, we don't want to stay there. That's not the ultimate. The goal is to become one with the absolute. So that is the purpose of these mantras over here. To take our attention towards that higher, towards that absolute. That's why they say that the goal for a human being is not just this material wealth or even the heavenly abode. Because in the heavenly abode, what is in the heavenly abode? Those cosmic devatas are there. The Indra, the Varuna, the Agni, all those devatas are there. But we have to reach to that absolute, which is infinite. So when we meditate, we got to meditate with the help of this Pran Shakti and become one with that absolute. And that's what yoga is. That's what samadhi is. That is our goal. Now there's one more verse in this chapter, in this section. And this chapter, this is just a chapter 1 actually. There are altogether 6 chapters in this Upanishad. This is chapter number 1. And there's one more very short section which will finish next week. Then we'll be done with this chapter. Okay, so let's look at the last verse of this section. Ath eshaha shlokaha bhavati yataha cha surya upetihi yatra cha astam gachatihi pranat va eshaha udeti prane astam eti devaha tam dharmam chakrire sa ev adhye sa u shva iti va etehe amurhihi adhriyantah tat ev adhya api kurvanti tasmat ekam ev vratam charet pranayat cha apanayat cha netmah pashmah mrityuh apnuvat iti yadi u sam api yayet ten u etasye devataye sayujyam saloktam jyati. So then now he says that there is this mantra verse. The gods took up the vow of that from which the sun rises and in which it sets. That very vow is observed today and it will be observed tomorrow. The sun rises verily from Vayu, the cosmic vital force. And it also sets in that. The gods even today observe the same vow that they observed then. Therefore, a person should take up a single vow, perform only respiration and excretion, lest the evil of death should overtake him. And if he ever takes up the vow, he should desire to finish it. Through it, he achieves union with or residence in the same world as the deity. So this verse deals with the same subject, actually, what we are talking about. We have done the Katha Upanishad also. And Katha Upanishad was where Nachiketa and Lord of Death had a discussion. You remember Nachiketa, a young boy? He was given the boons, 3 boons by the Lord of Death. And he asked not just the worldly things. In fact, he was tempted by those worldly boons. But he said, no, I don't want that. I just want to know the reality of this life. So this mantra says that from the prana, the sun rises. And into the prana, he sets. That's exactly what we learned in that Katha Upanishad. Prana or life force is the basis of all activities, like the rising and setting of the sun and the moon and the functions of all other deities. So prana. And it has already been said that in the individual sphere of this body, the sense organs owe their capacity to discharge their functions to this power of prana. And in the cosmic sphere also, all deities continue their function in an unbroken manner due to this cosmic prana. So individual prana and the cosmic prana. So prana is going on in our body, and prana is there in the outer sphere also. So whether it's the sun or the moon or the rain, they all function because of the prana, the cosmic prana. So this mantra is giving us the example of the sun and declaring it that it rises from the prana. And it also sets with the help of the prana. So prana is the unitary basis of all activities. Because it is eternal, it will remain same forever. Forever means in the past, in the present, and even in the future. It remains the same. So that's why we should follow only the sacred duty as the gods do, the devatas do, of identifying ourselves with the cosmic vital energy. And if we don't do that, what happens? We get attached to the sense organs and their objects. This is what happens. And death will arrest. Death means, we are understanding, death means lack of vitality, exhaustion. If we identify ourselves with the objects or even the physical organs, on the other hand, if we identify ourselves with the prana, or even go beyond that with the help of the prana, go towards the soul, then there's no exhaustion. Neither the prana nor the soul get exhausted. So it's up to us where we want to attach our identification. He is talking about the body. But as human beings, we even get attached and identify ourselves something which is so temporary. It could be the names. It could be the objects. It could be the very worldly relationships. No wonder we feel exhausted most of the time. But if we just turn our face around, look at this reality, learn from these rishis what they are trying to tell us. That's why the yogis, they could achieve so much in a short period of time. I read somewhere that Swami Vivekananda, he could just quickly go through the whole book, just glance over the book, and he knew what was in there. That is the power. Power of identification with the real. So we need to say with an apprehension that I shall observe only that cosmic law which the gods have observed. Otherwise, what will happen? I may be arrested by death. We can be living in the body, we are breathing, but we are identifying with something which is so temporary. We need to follow and observe the universal law and try our best to accomplish it through meditation on the cosmic Brahman. This whole chapter, actually the whole Upanishad is about meditation. We will understand it at the deeper level if we start meditating on the regular basis. Then these verses will speak to us. They'll be like a live verses for us. By the observance of this universal law, a person becomes identified with Hiranyagarbha and dwells in that world. That is the expansion of our intellect. That is the expansion of our awareness. He becomes the self of all, including the gods, who perform his duties, remaining as the presiding deities in the organs. This is the real import of this mantra. Now we have to see, sure we pray to those devatas. What are we praying for? Again for the physical things? Again from very small things? Or in this body also, do we recognize that these are the devatas? All these at the individual level or at the cosmic level, they are all divine. That is the reason that this body has been called a temple. Deho Devalya Prokta. This Deha, this body is a Devalya. Devatas reside in it. Power to see, that's a Devata. power to hear, power to smell, power to touch, power to taste. Those are all devatas. Then there are special places for Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh also in this body. In the Mooladhara chakra resides the Ganpati. In the Swadhisthana chakra, Lord Brahma, the creator. Manipur chakra, Lord Vishnu. Anahat chakra, the heart center, there's a Lord Shiva. Above that, there's a Vishuddha chakra, the Atma. Agya chakra, the Ishwar. Sahasrara chakra, the Guru. If you remember this, more and more during our meditations, sure, but otherwise also, that this is my individual temple. Just like outer temples, we clean it. We don't take any prohibited item there. We even take the shoes out. We never utter any wrong words because we feel the presence of God there. Even though God is everywhere, but temple area, particularly, we have been trained. But this is a temple, our personal temple. We should follow those same rules. Nothing prohibited there. Whether they are the words or the thoughts or the food. Then we can see that how easily these meditations become for us. We are meditating, we are walking, we are doing our actions, but all we are doing is there is a connection between us and the absolute which never goes away. It's a constant awareness. Who we are, what are we supposed to do? So these mantras, I would like you to understand it this way and definitely meditate upon it, whether you want to do it at the individual level or the cosmic level. But try to feel the oneness. And this feeling comes when we do our duties properly too. So next week, we will finish this chapter. There are, I think, just a few verses left in that one. And we're done with the first chapter of this Upanishad. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Visheshyate Om Shanti 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 Om. Thank you very much.